Most people value safety and security more than freedom and liberty, even if said safety is merely an illusion.
Yeah. There's always going to be a trade-off between freedom and safety, or at least a trade-off between freedom and the illusion of safety. That's just a reality of it, right? So what is it that, all right, we can run this across a lot of different things. Okay,
Sure.
Let's take something controversial, especially with me being a Brit, right? The Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. Okay. Most people around the world, certainly in the UK and Europe, do not understand the Second Amendment at all. Why? Because they say it's dangerous. Guns are dangerous. Guns are lethal weapons. So the less of them out there, the less people that have them, the better.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people, particularly on the left side of the aisle in the USA, also make the same argument. If they had their way, actually, many won't say this outright, but they want guns banned.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? They absolutely want guns banned. And so that's a real interesting one, because that is a real clash between safety, or the illusion of safety, and freedom.
Yep.
Right? And it also shows the different ways people view safety and security. Mm-hmm. On a sort of short-term basis, it can certainly look like, okay, so the USA has far more gun crime than the UK does, or Australia does.
Yep.
Look at Australia right now. Mm-hmm. Would that have happened if you had an armed population?
Absolutely not.
I don't believe so.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it could have gone that far.
It can't.
Right? And so, right, or if you look back to, I know people never, ever want to compare things to, I know it's taboo to compare anything to Nazi Germany, right? But if the Jews and other persecuted people in Nazi Germany had been armed,
Yep.
would that have happened in the way it did?
And it's an apt comparison.
Right? There certainly would have been a freaking fight.
Yes.
Right? I don't know, but like there would have been a resistance. So this is the thing, in the short term, sure, I'm willing to accept that if there were like far less guns in the USA, that, you'd have lower general homicide rates, right? I'm willing to accept that, and perhaps you'd have fewer mass shootings. But in the long term, right? If you think of what the Second Amendment is for, to keep a check on governmental tyranny, and we know nothing, man. There's no greater killer in the world than governments. Real talk. Think of every mass atrocity that's happened around the world in history. Who did it? Yep. Always the government. Yep. Always the government. Right?
And typically a collectivist one.
Exactly. So. Always. So nobody can, man, like nobody can murder like the government can.
No.
So that's important to recognize. And I understand it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable to sort of think that way. And it seems a little bit paranoid, because people always want to think, oh, that can't happen here, or, whatever, we're past that. Trust me, if you went back to the year 1900, or you went back to 1910 and you told people around Europe, especially, like what was going to come in the next 50 years, they wouldn't have believed you. Be like, what are you talking about? We're not barbarians. Like, we're modern people. We're past that. Right? That's what they did. That's what we did in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it can always happen. We're still living through history.
Yeah, we feel this great disconnect from history for whatever reason. And I obviously there's a major shift to stop teaching actual true history here in America. I don't know if that's the case for you in the UK, but
not quite.
Yeah, we're changing up historical teachings here in the United States. And the more you do that, the more disconnected people become from history, and the easier these things become, because you have no foundation for believing that anything else would go wrong, because why would it? It didn't happen historically. I don't know about that. And even if it did, it's so far removed from me. And right now in America, we are painting our founding fathers as white supremacists, racists, who don't want anybody to be successful. And the Constitution is just an old piece of paper. But that's your safeguard right there. And it spells out not just your individual rights, but your God-given individual rights, not your government-given individual rights. And once we forget that, it's gone.